So, dear students, today I've got Somya and Sammy with me, and the three of us have been thinking for the past few weeks to introduce a program that synergizes what you did go through with Model U and some of you will go through with speech and debate. Um, Mock trial is something which could be some kind of a in between, or it could actually help you synergize your preparation for those two programs and on its own itself prepare you for a career, a brand of yourself that colleges might find very interesting. So without further ado, Soumya, if you can tell us what have been your experiences or how you got into it, some of the nuances involved with it. And Sammy, you've been working with Soumya for some time to get all of these together off the ground. So without further ado, please, Somya, tell us a little bit about the program.
Yeah, so I joined mock trial my sophomore year in high school, and it first started because I did a lot of speech and debate and throughout middle school and then my freshman year, and I kind of wanted to try something new like mock trial. And I think I didn't really know what it fully was until I tried out, and I was placed as an opening attorney my first year. And I think what I love most about it is how team oriented it is. Because on mock trial, you have a side, you have a co-counsel with so basically you have three attorneys on one side, and we had four witnesses on our side as well. And it was like we all worked as a team to build our case, and it was very collaborative in its nature. And I think it took some pressure off knowing that I had a team that I could rely on. Whereas in speech and debate, it was kind of just me on my own. And it was kind of more stressful for me. And I think when I did mock trial, I was able to have a team. I was able to build community among this team. And I was able to step outside of my comfort zone, just going into the courtroom, pretending to be an attorney. Like it really teaches you a lot in terms of confidence. It teaches you a lot in terms of how to communicate with the judge, who is usually a lot older and someone you don't know, and kind of learning to address the judge as your honor. Like that's definitely an adjustment. And it's taught me a lot, just how to approach a lot of older people that I meet in my life. And um, it also has taught me to kind of take on challenges that we go against so many different teams, and a lot of them might not end up in winning. And it kind of teaches you a lot about taking losses in life and kind of looking at it through a more like holistic lens. So yeah.
I like the part about the on-ramp. So this could very well be an on-ramp for somebody who could be going into speech and debate, or somebody like you who was already doing speech debate, went through the high stress aspects of it, and then decided to do this, where it's a team that comes together, um, and you can lean in our team, learn from a team, and just get involved. So that's pretty cool. Um, Sammy, what have your experiences been like? You've done mock trial before multiple times, so obviously as a in Harvard, but now with mock trial, how do you see the two going, or a melting pot of these two?
Yeah. I mean, well, as someone who is going to law school, I can tell you that it is certainly beneficial for anyone who is an aspiring attorney. But beyond that, right, there are so many interactions that we have every day with the legal and justice systems. And so it's obviously a good thing to be familiar with them. But even if you're someone who's only operating on the periphery of the legal and justice systems, there's going to be a point in our lives professionally, no matter what you do, where you have to present something that you're really familiar with to a group of people or to someone who might be less familiar with that, right? And that's exactly what attorneys do in mock trial. You're taking a case that you've researched, that you're familiar with. You know the witnesses, you know the exhibits, you know exactly what you're going to present, you know exactly how you want to convey it, and you know exactly what you want the people to take away, the judges or the jury, right? And in life, whether you're a computer scientist presenting a new software, whether you're a doctor presenting your patient's findings, or whether you're an engineer presenting the plans to develop a new structure, or a new automobile, whatever it might be, you will be taking things that you know really well, and you will be presenting them to people who might be less familiar with them, but you want them to support you, you want them to back you want them to side with you. And I think that's especially important in mock trial too, that's something that that mock trial really focuses on, harnessing students' abilities to do those sorts of things. And that's a skill that will be useful no matter what path you choose, no matter what you choose to do, and no matter where you go for college. Those are always going to be things that you have to do. And this is a great way to practice, harness, sharpen those skills.
Somya, anything to add to what Sammy was talking about?
Yeah, no, I totally echo like everything Sammy said. I would also say like in mock trial, like we script everything out so that we like intent, like we kind of we know exactly what the witness is going to say when we're directing them, and we usually know what the witness is going to say when we cross them. But sometimes mock trial can go off script, and it's those off script moments where something might happen unexpectedly, a judge might rule a certain way with an objection, that actually makes it the most enjoyable thing, because it teaches you how to not only think on your feet but like adjust when things don't maybe go the way that you expect it to go.
In terms of logistics for mock trial in general in high school, what's the commitment expected, Somya, of students? And is there a way to reduce your commitment in, travel and stuff? How logistic intensive is mock trial?
For me, I would say that was my main extracurricular in high school. I think I spent about 8 hours a week just in practice. And outside of that, I spent, I'd say maybe an additional 4 or 5 hours per week just working on my own. I'd say it is a pretty time intensive activity, but if you can manage your time well, then I think it's pretty doable.
The competitions you go to, are these like similar to M1 conferences? Are these, do you go and compete at different levels and go at state, internationals, or how does this work?
Yeah, so there's a county competition that we do, and if you win your county, you end up going to states and then you go to nationals. So that's part of the season, and then there's another competition called Mock On Tournament of the Champions, which I've also done, which is like an international competition that you can also compete in. So there's usually 2 competitions per year. I think there's also a third one that you could potentially do, and I think that's also an international competition.
Those 7 to 8 hours you talked about, are those in school with your team that you're learning from each other, or and 4 hours are async on your own preparing, or how does
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I'd say 8 hours of just practice. So we have attorney meetings twice a week, and then we have a full team meeting every once a week. And then aside from that, kind of working asynchronously on like getting your directs and your cross examinations kind of written.
How have your personal interactions with people in general in the school improved or not as a result of this fairly intense interaction outside of the classroom?
I'd say I developed really strong relationships with people on the team because we just spend so much time together. And outside of just mock trial, we also just hang out, kind of have fun. So I'd say I've developed very strong friendships with people. And we've kind of go through a lot because we go in a trial and sometimes we lose and kind of we all come out together. And it's kind of like we do a lot together. So we all kind of understand each other in
In
unique.
this 4 day or these short 3 to 4 day conference, Sammy, do you want to bring it up on the screen? What is going to be planned? What's the agenda going to be like? What will the students expect? What should they know going in? Sammy, if you want to share a screen.
Let me share my screen right now. So Somya and I have put together sort of an introductory syllabus, what we're sort of hoping for. But the first day is more of an introduction to mock trial, explaining to people what the difference between, say, a judge versus a jury trial is. Who are the plaintiffs, right? What's the prosecution? What does that mean? Those sorts of things, and an overview, the structure, vocabulary, opening speeches, closing speeches. That's the information we want to go into on day 1. On the second day, we are addressing witnesses. How do you examine a witness? How do you cross-examine a witness? What are exhibits? That kind of information there. And we'll give students an opportunity, in class to see what it's like to have an effective cross-examination, an effective examination. And then for homework, students will be actually practicing that and putting that into action. On day 3, we'll be going through objectives, different kinds of objectives. We'll allow students to practice, seeing objectives. And then we will also go over in the last day, gestures, speech, any movements, that help you convey confidence, to help you get your point across. Confidence is a big part of any form of debate, whether it be mock trial, debate, Model UN. And so we will also help students practice, effective speeches, opening and closing, and then try to figure out the logistics afterwards for a potential simulation, but more information to come, whether or not the time permitting. But that's sort of the information that we built out now. It's rooted in mock trial boot camps that schools are running that try to orient students on what exactly is necessary to be an effective attorney on a mock trial team. So it's not, this isn't coming out of the blue. This is based in theory of things that work. And what we're trying to do is, instead of condensing it into 1 or 2 days of what would be expected for a student that wants to be on a mock trial team, we want to go in depth. We want to provide students an opportunity to ask us plenty of questions, a very intimate setting where they feel comfortable being vulnerable and asking us ways that they can improve their game. And then there will also be opportunities to meet with us outside of class as well, to schedule 15, 20-minute meetings so that they can ask us any questions that they might have outside of the formal class settings.
That's day 3 and day 4, and then there's a Saturday is a bigger day. Is that a full day commitment? Could you talk to what that is?
Yeah, so we will ideally be hosting an actual mock trial where Somya and I will be, having students argue a particular case. Again, we're organizing the logistics for that. So TBD on what exactly the case is going to be, how that's going to work, what the teams will be. That kind of information is to be determined based on how many students sign up and what we feel would be best in terms of conveying material and making sure that students have enough time to digest it. But ideally, yes, that would be a longer commitment. The actual class sessions are only 1 hour and 15 minutes long is what we're scheduling for. This would be much longer than that. Yeah.
Somya, going back to your 9th grade self, how would this kind of a boot camp program from an external agency like Success Coach helped you improvise for your career? Would this have been it's okay, one more thing, or would this have been actually a jump start that you could have used?
Yeah, no, as someone who was like, unsure about whether I wanted to do mock trial, like I didn't fully know what it was, I think this would be a great way to kind of dip your toes in and kind of see like whether this is something you're interested in. And I think it also like provides a lot of clarity as to like how mock trial works and kind of what it looks like. And I think through doing this, students can like figure out whether this is something they want to try out in high school.
Is this something, but my question really was the theory and this kind of simulation, is it provided in schools as a way to get people jump started? Like you are right now, you were in a mock trial session at school.
Yeah.
Is that provided first in all schools? And is this any different from what is provided in schools?
Oh, right. Okay. So yeah, at my school, we are doing like 1 week long like camps. So it's like from 9 to 4:30 p.m. So usually it's like an all day type thing. And then tomorrow actually they're going to like put on a trial. So this is, I'd say, fairly similar to like what we're planning. I think each session is going to be shorter and maybe more condensed. But I'd say it's similar to like what my school does. I don't know if other high schools do like similar boot camps in the area, but I know that my school does. So yeah.
Now, is this something which students who don't have mock trial in their school, could they use some of the agenda material from here to start a mock trial chapter in their school as well?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go, right? That's the overall value proposition. It could actually help you do community work if your school does not have it. If it has a mock trial program, you could use this to be a running start for yourself. If law is an area that you are considering for yourself as a career, use this as a way to get your hands dirty, see what it's like. If debate or model UN arts, something's on the list for you, and public speaking is something which scares you, and if you don't want to be a lone wolf, you want to go in with a team together, this could be a perfect on-ramp for you to build a career, and who knows, you might become an attorney for life. Yeah, cool. Anything else as a closing statement from any of you?
Okay. I think that summed it up well. The last thing you just said now, Harpal, is that this can be very useful for everyone, especially aspiring attorneys. But that will be my closing statement.
Awesome. Great.